What's up, what's up, what's up? Hello, my name is Richard Carrero. I am a United States Army veteran. I am disabled and I am 42 years old. And today we're cooking slow cooker beef stew. And I forgot the beef broth, so we're using gravy and we're gonna see how it turns out. But we're following a recipe today, and right now I'm gonna show you the vegetable ingredients and the beef and all the ingredients that go into this recipe. Ready? Here we go. Now, I used about a half a bag of each one of these vegetables. There's carrots, celery, green beans, yellow potatoes, and two cloves of garlic. So I used half a bag of what I bought at the grocery store, and I repackaged them in sandwich bags. Here's the sandwich bags. That's about 2/3 of the celery. The celery right here is about 1/3 of the bag. I'll be using those on a spaghetti recipe later in the week, because this recipe should last me about 2 days. Let's look at the meat, because I know you guys are excited about that. That's very popular. If you look at the meat on the package, it's 1.5 pounds. And those are 2-inch cubes, close to it. And what we're gonna have to do with these beef cubes is sear them or brown them in a stovetop pan with oil and salt and pepper. And first, we're gonna cube all of these vegetables. I've got my onion, my carrots, my celery, potatoes, garlic, and we're gonna use about 1/3 of that bag of green beans. Also, when this stuff is ready to be taken off the slow cooker in 4 hours from now, 4 hours in 45 minutes, we're going to be making some gravy mixed with a cup of water. The olive oil is for browning the meat, and the salt and pepper also. So let's get to it. I'm taking out the green beans now, maybe just a handful, that's all I need. I'm going to be snapping them and cutting them into 1-inch slices or parts. So that's a handful, 1 or 2 more. The potatoes are going to take up a lot of room inside the slow cooker, as will the meat. Now we're taking all these vegetables that were the whole bags, and now they're 2/3, so 60% of the vegetables that you bought will go into the refrigerator. That's 60% of the vegetables you bought are going into the refrigerator, and they don't sell single portions. That sucks. I put it in the vegetable drawer because I get supplements of Meals on Wheels, which is for disabled people, and they deliver meals to my house. In all those styrofoam containers, I'll show you one. This is the majority. Oh, turkey dinner, pretty good. Turkey dinner is the majority of what my refrigerator is filled with. So we gotta rinse the vegetables in cold water to get any dirt that they were grown in off of the vegetable. And that's how we consider those clean, because there will be dirt in your beef stew, and that is really gross. So now we have the clean green beans, and at the store I was reminded of a country song that's sung in the South and in the Midwest, and it's sung by Caucasian Americans, and it's called Snapping Green Beans, and apparently it's a part of the Caucasian culture of America. And I don't know anything about that. I was trained as a cook by the United States government in lieu of the military, and we don't snap green beans. We slice the ends off of them, because this little ends right here, whoops, sorry, all those things, you don't want to eat those in your beef stew. The knife, oh man. Okay. New camera angle. Tip of the knife blade goes down and you bring it to a flat surface. Now we change the position of the vegetable, not the knife. Tip down to a flat surface. And in 2 cuts, we've snapped a lot of green beans. Better than doing one at a time and wasting time. But it's more dangerous because you're using a knife instead of just nature. And right here is my crock pot. It's about, my crock pot, it's about 2 quarts. They said 4 for the full recipe. That's why we're doing half. Where's the camera? Hello. Okay, we rinsed it out because we washed it a couple of months ago, but we rinsed it out of dust and any kind of thing so that it's clean. And I have cotton mouth, but not cotton mouth because I smoke weed, because I'm disabled. So the green beans go into the crock pot, and all the vegetables will go into the crock pot, one by one, until we are ready to put the seared meat cubes on top and cook for 4 hours at 165 degrees temperature, or the high setting. So I don't know, that was maybe a cup and a half of clean, prepared green beans. Makes me think I have too much potatoes, but that's okay. Next, we are working on the celery, which I have 4 segments of celery. It's probably 1 complete stalk. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cut off those edges because the vegetable gets old and it doesn't taste as good. And it kind of looks dirty, so we don't want a dirty beef stew recipe. First, we gotta wash them or rinse them. So you rub them together in cold water. Get all the excess water off by shaking it a little bit. Shake it. You don't have to shake it too much. And we're gonna chop the ends off. Tip of the knife blade touches the cutting board, and you bring it down to a level that is flat. You be very careful, cutting slowly. So that's one side with clean edges or ends. Tip down to a flat surface, cutting slowly and controlled. So now, here's the ends of all the dirty stuff. We're throwing that away. And we have washed, clean vegetables, and we're gonna probably dice them. I think that's a 1/4 inch slice. Because we don't want big chunks in our beef stew. And I'm working on my knife skills, but I'm just everything needs to be prepared so it can fit on your fork. Tip down, flat surface. My knife needs to be sharpened. This is what the prepared celery looks like. That's ready. This is what it looks like when it's ready to go into the slow cooker with the green beans. And now that I think about it, I'm gonna chop those green beans up a little bit. Tip down. We're putting our hand over the top of the knife because there's a lot of moving parts with this. So that is a good portion of a green bean, about 1.5 inches long, that will fit on your fork with the 1-inch cubed stew beef. Green beans go back in. Celery goes back in as well. I picked up those green beans with my hands instead of using the cutting board and sliding the knife across it. It kind of looks cooler. It depends what you prefer. But since this is a cooking show, we're working with our hands, and I decided to make it fun or interesting. Now my carrots, I guess I eyeballed them correctly, because turns out my carrots fit in the one cup portion, and I'm not going to cut those because they're baby carrots. We will wash them though. Cold water. They go into the slow cooker as well. So we're almost done with our vegetables. We got celery, green beans, and carrots. So then the last three ingredients before we get to the meat are yellow potatoes, which is only going to be 2, maybe 3. A yellow onion, which we will use about half of a large yellow onion. And 1 clove of garlic, which we will mince. And that's smaller than a dice cut. You have to be very careful when you do that. So the next one we're going to use is the onion. And I showed you on my spaghetti cooking show how to clean and peel an onion. And we're going to do this lesson one more time. You cut the tip and the root off, and you peel the sticker off after you clean it, and then you begin to peel this onion skin, because it's not, you can't digest it when you make the beef stew. So here comes the water. Rubbing your hands with cold water around here removes the dirt from the surface of the onion. So we'll use our finger and dig in and peel that sticker off. Now this is you only have a little edge to work with that you're resting the knife blade against. So this is why we are very careful when we cut the onion. Anytime a vegetable moves, you have to be double careful. Let's get a good shot of this. Now I'm removing the root side, not the tip side, but they're the same. Tip down. Root. Tip down, level surface. A lot of pressure. So we're halfway done with the onion. Now we gotta wash it. Do we have to wash it? We're peeling it though. And when you peel it, you wanna go across the body of the onion, not your body, but that and away. So you got a incision. And then you just take off the layers of this onion until it's yellow or white. It's my onion garbage. It's going in the freezer because it smells and I don't want it in my waste pail. Needed something to lubricate my mouth with water. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do with this onion is we're gonna cut it in half. And if you look at it, here's the top of the onion where the root was. Here's the bottom where the tip was. This is another view of it. We're not gonna cut it this way. We're gonna cut from the side that's been topped or removed down to the other side that's been topped, because this is a more stable surface. tip down, bring to a level on the cutting board that's perpendicular or horizontal, whatever you want to call it. So this onion is going in the refrigerator in a sandwich bag. Just like we did on the spaghetti video, we're gonna slice the onion this way. See, this is half of the onion, half. So we take it like this and go this way. Tip down, level surface. So this is half an onion. We're hoping that it's not going to be overpowering for the flavor of the beef stew, but we don't really mind because we know we've done this before. Tip down, flat surface, away from the body. Tip down, flat surface, away from the body. So now we have some pretty big chunks of onions. What we want to do is, I don't know how beef stew works, but I like my vegetables minced if I don't know what I'm going to do with the cutting size, so it's very small and you just don't notice the bulk of the food. So these onions are starting to slide around. That's why I'm keeping my hand as far away as possible. And I'm not bringing the blade of the knife up. Not bringing the blade of the knife up very high, because that would allow it to move more. There's the finished product of the onions. So we cut them as small as we can. So this time I'm not grabbing the vegetables with my hands. I'm using the cutting board and the knife to slide them off into the slow cooker. Working it side to side till we get all the vegetables in and no spill. We don't want to spill any vegetables, especially sticky onions, on the floor. So now I'm going to mix some of these vegetables with my hands so they're all mixed up. So that's onions, carrots, celery, and green beans. And the last two ingredients we have to work with are our yellow potatoes and 1 clove of minced garlic, which will give it flavor. Later comes our gravy with salt and pepper meat. So I'm washing the potatoes in cold water and rubbing them with my hands to get any excess dirt that might have been left behind when they washed them at the store. You never want to not clean a vegetable. Always clean them. Okay, guys. Baby potato. And we're going to go with 3 because I think it'll work. Three potatoes. Tip down, flat surface. Tip down, flat surface. You get wedges, that's okay. That's what you want. So we half them, and then we cut them into quarter pieces. As many times as you need, so it could be an 1/8 piece. We take the cutting board with the potatoes, our knife, and we work the potatoes into the slow cooker pot best we can without spilling any potatoes on the floor. No potatoes on the floor. And I think I really nailed that vegetable portions, because there's not so many vegetables that are cooked that I can't fit the browned meat, cubed stew meat in the pot. So our next lesson is to cook the stewed meat in a frying pan and brown it, and then it'll be ready to go in the slow cooker with salt and pepper. Okay guys, see you then. Peace.